Hello everyone, Zane's Productions here. In this episode, Sigurd will face his biggest threats yet, while being all on his own, including powerful bosses, hordes of enemies threatening to take the home castle, Zane, and a game-breaking bug sent by the priests of Loptyr themselves to stop Sigurd from progressing in his journey. Allegedly, at least. So, without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? I start the chapter off with the obligatory arena grind, do some inventory management, and then send Sigurd straight out into the fray. It's not long before I reach my first batch of enemies, of which I dispatch without any hassle at all. With these out of the way, I head towards the next castle that I need to seize, only to be met with a wall of armored knights. They pack more of a punch than I anticipated, so I have to rethink my strategy a couple times before deciding to lure the boss away from the other knights to fight him on enemy phase, then landing the killing blow and securing the return band, which will very soon come in handy. I seize the castle and wait for Sigurd to heal a bit before approaching the next set of enemies. While fighting these enemies, I quickly realize that despite how tanky Sigurd is, the sheer amount of knights and cavalry attacking him is slowly but surely whittling his HP down. I secure the Paragon Ring, then make a beeline for the nearby church to heal up. After doing this, I go back to seize the castle and use the return band to warp straight back to the home castle. However, I can't leave the castle just yet. Multiple squads of cavalry and Pegasus riders are heading straight for it, threatening to seize it and cause an immediate loss. I have Sigurd guard it, but quickly realize that it's not that simple. You see, Sigurd has gained so much speed and has so much defense that enemies can no longer hit him on the castle, nor would they dare to. I have to, therefore, weave in and out of the castle, making sure not to go too far, so that I can move back to guard the castle after attacking. After every enemy is defeated, I then send Sigurd out to seize the final two castles. I will be honest, this may be the most annoyed I've ever been during this run. This next castle features a whole slew of enemies who surround Sigurd, not to mention the narrow valley he has to go through to even get near the castle. And if I get too close, the boss has a sleep spell which would immobilize Sigurd for multiple turns in a row. While Sigurd isn't in any immediate danger from any of these enemies, it's more that the principle of waiting for any longer than I already have to get through this chapter is the least appealing thing that I can possibly think of right now. I have already spent over 50 turns in this chapter alone, and I have even more turns ahead of me. Eventually, I break my way through the horde and seize the castle. One more to go. Here we fight Zane, who, might I add, has a very cool name, and his squad. Sadly, I run into a similar problem here, where the enemies relentlessly surround Sigurd, not attacking him due to his raw strength, and block him from very easily reaching the final castle to end this chapter. At this point, it's not even a question of whether Sigurd can survive this, it's whether I will survive the multiple turns I have to go through to beat this chapter. I, after what seems like an eternity, make it past the enemies and defeat the final boss in 74 turns. Man, I cannot wait to move on from this. Let me just seize and save and... what? Why is the screen black? And let me just reset and look at my save and... what? Well, it turns out that if one is to seize the final castle in a chapter with Sigurd's inventory full, and the boss has an item that they drop, a strange glitch happens. The developers didn't take into account that Sigurd may have a full inventory in this scenario, so they didn't program in an opportunity for the menu that sends the item to the supply to fully appear. Because of this, the game gets corrupted, with the player no longer being able to progress and the player's save being deleted due to it being corrupt. Strangely, when I looked online to see if anyone had discussed this prior to myself, as far as I'm aware, there are no online records of this glitch existing, or at least the ones that are out there are few and far between. The lists of glitches on the wiki and on the walkthrough don't mention it, and I couldn't find anyone on forums discussing it either. The only sign that I saw that someone else had run into the glitch at all was asking about it on a Discord server in which only one person chimed in to say they had only briefly heard of it once. This is a very major glitch, and it should definitely be on more people's radars. So if you play FE4 in the future, please do steer clear of this bug. But what does that mean for the run? Is it over? Will Sigurd never be able to continue his journey? Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg and my arm. Well, tune in next time to find out in Chapter 3. Have a good one, and until next time, bye-bye.